Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are safe at home. This video is for class 6 subject history. In this presentation, I will be explaining chapter 9, the Gupta Age part 2. This video I am going to explain administration under the Guptas, life of the people, trade and religion, literature, science, art and architecture, golden age of the Guptas. The first one is administration under the Guptas. The Gupta rulers assumed very high sounding titles and performed Rajasuya and Ashwamedha sacrifices. The king was assisted by a council of ministers or Mantri Parishad. The ministers were highly paid officials who sometimes even led the armies during wars. In later periods, they were granted land instead of cash salaries. In due course, they acquired a lot of land and thus became quite powerful. Provincial administration. The Gupta Empire was divided into provinces, bhuktis, under governors called uparikas. The provinces were further divided into districts, vishyas under Vishyapatis. The districts were divided into villages. The uparikas were assisted by officials called Kumaramatyas. The Kumaramatyas acted as a link between the provinces and the districts. Local administration. A council of village elders headed by the village headman administered the village. A city was administered by a council consisting of the head of the city corporation, representatives of the various guilds of merchants and artisans, and the chief scribe. Life of the people. The main occupation of the people was agriculture. The caste system had become very rigid. A number of subcastes had come into existence. The Chandelas or untouchables lived outside the society. Condition of women. Women were not permitted to participate in social and political activities. They were usually not given formal education. Early marriage was the accepted social norm for girls. Women were not entitled to property except in the form of jewelry or stridhan received at the time of marriage. Many restrictions were imposed on widows. A widow could be forced to become a sati by burning herself on the funeral pyre of her husband. Trade. A network of safe roads and navigable rivers connected important cities. This promoted internal trade, which in turn promoted various industries like weaving, carpentry, metallurgy, shipbuilding, and pot making. The Gupta rulers emerged foreign trade. Indian spices, pearls, ivory, precious stones, perfumes, and textiles found ready markets in distant lands. Ports on the west coast of India like Broch, Sopara, Kalyan, Calicut, and Cochin traded with West Asia Africa and the Mediterranean lands. Tamirlipti on the east coast was an important port for trade with Southeast Asia. This trade led to the spread of the Sanskrit language, Indian art forms, and religions such as Hinduism and Buddhism to Southeast Asia. Overland trade linked India to Central Asia and China. This trade declined when the Huns invaded India. As a result, many cities in the Ganga Valley declined. Religion. Most Gupta coins bear images of gods and goddesses. The Gupta rulers worshipped mainly Vishnu and Shiva. They performed many sacrifices. The idea of the avatar or incarnation of Vishnu emerged. It was believed that whenever there is disorder in society, Vishnu appears in an animal or a human form to restore order. The Dharmashastra containing the Hindu social and religious rules were compiled in this period. Image worship became widespread in Hinduism. Temples were built with the image of gods. Religious worship became more complex and expensive. So people slowly turned to bhakti, that is, personal devotion to gods, without rituals and ceremonies. The Guptas were tolerant towards Buddhism and Jainism. Samudragupta even permitted the Sri Lankan ruler Meghavarman to build a monastery at Bodh Gaya. But Buddhism was on the decline. Literature. Some of the greatest works of Sanskrit literature were composed during the Gupta period. The Gupta rulers were themselves great scholars and patrons of learning. The greatest gem of Chandragupta Vikramaditya's court was Kalidasa. He produced famous works like Meghaduta, Kumarasambhava and Abhinava Shakuntala. Shudraka wrote the play Mirchigadika and Vishakadatta wrote Mudra Rakshasa. The Panchatantra, a collection of delightful fables, was also written during this period. The Puranas, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, which had so far been passed down orally, were written down during this period. Science. The Gupta period witnessed a remarkable growth of scientific knowledge. Aryabhatta, a famous mathematician and astronomer, put forward the theory that the earth rotates on its own axis and revolves round the sun. Aryabhatta understood the concept of zero and the decimal system. Another mathematician and astronomer, Varahamihira, wrote the Brihad Samhita, an encyclopedia of all branches of knowledge. In medicine, the science of Ayurveda reached new heights. The science of metallurgy improved to a great extent. The iron pillar at Mehruli, which has not rested yet, was cast during this period. Art and architecture. The Gupta rulers patronized sculpture, architecture and painting. The Saranath school of art excelled in sculpture. The temple of the Gupta period became models for future North Indian temples. A temple usually had a small central room called the Garbhagriha, where the image was placed. The other features were carved pillars supporting a low roof and sometimes a tiered spire. The most famous temples of the Gupta period are the temples at Deoghar, Sanchi, and Bidurgan. Most of the beautiful cave temples at Ajanta near Aurangabad were built during this period. There are beautiful murals, paintings done on walls in the Ajanta caves depicting scenes from the life of the Buddha. In view of the invaluable contributions made by the Guptas to our cultural heritage, it is said that the Gupta period was the golden age in our history. The last part of this chapter is the golden age of the Guptas. The term golden age in a country's history usually describes a period of political peace and stability, economic prosperity, and cultural growth in spheres such as literature, philosophy, art, architecture, music, and scientific thought. The Gupta period saw many remarkable achievements, due to which it is referred to as the golden age of Indian history. The Gupta freed the country from the Shaka menace and ensured peace. The merchants of this period carried on sea trade with Southeast Asia, China, and West Asia, and internal trade along a good network of roads. This is evident from the large number of gold coins and the growth of many cities in the period. Kalidasa's renowned Sanskrit plays and poems were written during the Gupta period. The epics and the Dharmashastras were also compiled during this time. The foundations of Hindu temple architecture were laid during this time. The widespread worship of Vishnu and the concept of avatars began during this time. The Ajanta paintings of the Gupta period are still acclaimed the world over. The science of Ayurveda, Aryabhata's concept of zero, and the iron pillar, which has not rusted to this day, all bear testimony to the remarkable heights of attainments in the sphere of science and technology under the Guptas. Faghasan wrote in glowing terms about the political stability and economic prosperity during the Gupta period. Here we conclude the lesson. Thank you.